This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a giant wrestling news update. Billy Jack Haynes has now been released from the hospital. From what I understand, he had been in the hospital due to mental health issues. I understand he's in jail now and he's been formally charged with second degree murder and unlawful use of a weapon related to intentionally killing his 85-year-old wife who had dementia. The killing was he's being charged with intentional killing, not premeditated. So no word on if he qualifies for bail or not. Chael Sonnen had said before that he would bail him out. That remains to be seen. And it remains to be seen what his defense is. He had told police was a mercy killing, from what I understand. He did, from all my conversations with him, and I did talk to him quite a bit over the last few years, um, other than a few times where he would disappear for months on end, then he would go to messaging me on an almost daily basis. He always seemed to really love his wife. But I don't know any of the details of this other than he had called me about 45 minutes before the gunshots were heard, and unfortunately, I didn't get the call. Tamatonga Haku's son, who has officially signed with WWE, is part of the Bloodline family. And according to Dave Meltzer, his New Japan contract is over, and he could start anytime. Whether he will be in the Bloodline or not, that remains to be seen. Very likely, he could, and he's been in talks with them about coming in for a year. Now that The Rock's on the TKO board, we're seeing what's her name, the girl who fought Rhea Ripley in Australia. Like, she's part of the family too. Nia Jax. All these WWE's being taken over by the Bloodline. NXT did its lowest rating since July this week, 0.16. No surprise that Gallows and Anderson didn't help. They're good hands, but I don't know if they've ever been over. At one point, they were making $750,000 a year. Apparently, there's an issue with CML wrestlers and work visas in the U.S. So there's going to be less CML wrestlers in AEW, at least for the meantime. But they can still. There's a lot of AEW tapings coming up in Canada, and they can still wrestle in Canada because you don't need a work visa to wrestle in Canada if you're a performer. Related to Virgil's passing yesterday, Dave Meltzer brought up that the black servant gimmick was a spoof on Dusty. Of course, there's been lots of rumors that that Dusty was racist over the years. To what degree, who knows? Um, and who knows if it's true or not, but people like Kamala have said it. And Dusty's real name was Virgil. Then when he was signed to WCW, they called him Vincent. He was also known as Curly Bill in the West Texas Rednecks. His real name, of course, was Mike Jones. There's a bunch of interviews with him on this channel. Meltzer also brought up that Ole Anderson claimed he had 173 IQ, and that when he was 45, he had a shoot with Lou Thez when Lou was 71, and Lou destroyed him. Danny Hodge also destroyed him in a shoot, but Lou was still pretty tough overall. And I mean, if you're gonna, it's one thing. A lot of people say they're tough and will never like fight or wrestle the toughest in shoots, and you got to give respect for Ole for trying that. He had trained a lot of wrestlers in WCW, and it was Bischoff that fired him. Apparently, according to Meltzer, Bischoff fired Ole over trying to get Meltzer, over trying to get his son hired in Smoky Mountain, and Bischoff hated Cornette. The return of Mike D, who I think is a big fan of Goldilocks, and Goldilocks is a big fan of him. It says R.I.P. Virgil. Thank you for the tip, Mike. I'm gonna work on Rick Martel. I was just talking to John Paz about him yesterday. Wouldn't mind making the trip out to Quebec City, Quebec, to do a live interview with him. It's a beautiful city. And in fact, I actually met Rick Martel in Quebec City for the TNA show there. Any chance of Virgil getting the Hall of Fame? Doubtfully anytime soon. Yes, Billy Jack Haynes was charged. Watch the start of this video. Mike gives a lot of respect to Ole Anderson. And on that note, wish everybody a great afternoon. Please give this video a like. We're almost at 400,000 subscribers, so subscribe if you're not subscribed.